Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Patience. In today's video I'll be sharing with you guys how I made this beautiful off-shoulder shirred top with a high-low sleeve. Before we get started, kindly click the subscribe button. If you have done that, let's get into it. I'll be using this fabric for this tutorial. It is 2.5 yards. I'll also be using an elastic band and an elastic thread. Starting from this 1 inch line, I'll be taking out 4.5 inches for my off shoulder. I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into 4, so I'm cutting out the front and the back piece. I'll be sharing the upper part of this dress, so I'm using my waist circumference times 2 inches. You can use your bust circumference times 2. So this is 18 inches plus ½ inch for side seam. Placing my measuring tape on the 4.5 inches, I'll be using this 1 inch for my elastic casing. I am going to mark half of my armhole measurement, which is 8 inches, and I'll mark the full length of this dress, which is going to be 30 inches plus 2 inches for hemming allowance. After doing that, on the shoulder line, I'll be marking my across chest measurement, which is 12 inches. Since the fabric is folded into 2, that is 6 inches. But I'll be timesing the 6 inches by 2 because I'm going to be sharing the dress. That is 12 inches. I'll go ahead and mark the 12 inches on the shoulder line and the chest line, and I'll create the arm side. For the width, like I said, is my waist circumference times 2 inches plus ½ inch for side seam. I'll go ahead and cut this out. So these are my front and back pieces. I'm going to keep the back piece aside. I'll be working on the front piece. So the first thing I'll do is to mark out the 1 inch for hemming allowance, also my elastic casing. From the 1 inch, I'll go down by 3 inches this way, and I'll mark that out. So I'm marking on the right side of the fabric. I'll be sharing from the 1 inch to the 3 inches, as you can see on the picture. Using an elastic thread, I'll be sewing from the 1 inch to 3 inches. First, I'll hem the 1 inch. After doing that, I'll be using my elastic thread to share the top. So I'll be marking out guidelines to do that. I'll mark from 1 centimeter to 6 centimeter this way, and I'll go ahead and extend the lines. So I'll go ahead and hem the 1 inch and use my elastic thread to sew on the guidelines. For the back piece, on the wrong side, I'll go ahead and mark the 1 inch for hemming allowance. I'm going to hem the 1 inch. I'll be attaching an elastic band to give it the shape. To cut out the sleeve, I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into 4. I'm cutting out both sleeves. For the length of the sleeve, I'll be using 14 inches, and for the width, I'll be using 11 inches. So this is 12 inches. I'll be using 1 inch for side seam. Cut out the arm side. I'll place this piece I cut out on the bodice on the opened edge and cut it out. I'll be making like a high-low. So from the hem, I'll go up by 2 inches on the folded edge this way and connect it to the opened edge and cut it out. Attaching a high-low flare on the hem of the sleeve. As you can see, the high is on the shoulder part and the low is going to be on the armpit area. Now I'll mark 1 inch for my hemming allowance, also my elastic casing, and I'll join the 1 inch for side seam. To cut out the high-low flare, I'll be using this fabric. This is 34 inches by 29 inches. I'll go ahead and fold it into 4 this way. These are the folded edges and these are the opened edges. So what I have here from the folded edge is 14 inches. I'll mark that round, as you can see. I'll cut it out. So I have a full circle, as you can see. To cut out my high-low, I am going to fold it this way. Remember, my sleeve hem is 11 inches. On fold, that is 22 inches, which is my radius. Now I'll say 22 times 6.28 for a full circle. That is 3.5 inches. Taking the length of the high, 6.5 inches, plus the radius, which is 3.5 inches, that's 10 inches. So I'll make sure this is 10 inches, as you can see, and I'll fold it this way. And I'll mark the radius, which is 3.5 inches. So this is 6.5 inches for the length of the high. Now for the low, I'll be using 12 inches. I thought it was going to be too long, but you can leave it that way. So I'll just go ahead and mark it this way and cut it out. To cut out the radius, I'll add ½ inch for joining allowance. So this 6.5 inches high part is going to be for the shoulder, and this other part is going to be on the joining of the sleeve on the armpit area. And the radius is 22 inches for the hem of the sleeve, as you can see. So the next thing I'm going to do is to shirred the front piece. Using an elastic thread, I am going to wind the bobbin using my hands this way. I'll make sure I'm not pulling the thread. I'll adjust the tension and start sewing on the guidelines. I've done that. The next thing I am going to do is to insert an elastic band on the casing using about 8 inches elastic band and a safety pin. And I'll secure both ends of the elastic and sew by ½ inch to keep it in place. I've done that. So that is it for the front piece. On the back piece, I've gone ahead to hem, as you can see. I'll also be inserting an 8 inches elastic band using my safety pin this way. I'll also sew on both edges of the elastic to keep it in place. I've done that. I stitched on ½ inch to keep it in place, as you can see. Now I'll be joining the front and back piece, placing the right sides together this way. I'll sew on ½ inch for side seam. On the sleeve, I've gone ahead to sew on 1 inch for the side seam. Now I'll also be inserting an elastic band of 6 inches. I'll pass it through this way. Also secure both ends and sew by ½ inch. I've done that. Now I am going to attach the flare. This is the low and this is the high. I'll align it this way. Like I said, the high is on the shoulder. I'll pin it down and I'll sew round by ½ inch. I'll do the same thing on the other sleeve. I've done that. I've attached the flare, as you can see. On the bodice, I've joined the side seams and I've also hemmed. So the next thing I'm going to do is to attach the sleeve. I'll align the side seams and pin it down. I'll also align this part and pin it down. And I'll sew by ½ inch. I've attached the sleeve. I'll serge around the hem of the sleeve. So this is how really beautiful it came out. I've come to the end of this tutorial. If this was helpful, kindly give this video a thumbs up, click on the subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell to be updated when I upload a new video. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.